I'm gonna show you a mistake that 95% of contractors are making all of the time that is costing them $300,000 or more in potential business every single month. And no, it's not a lead quality issue, but it does have to do with how you're treating these leads. So let's get right into it. So 95% of the appointments that you're getting, they're just dead in the first place. So I've tracked appointment data across hundreds of contractors, and I discovered something that will change how you think about lead generation like forever. So 95% of your contracting appointments, they're dead before your closer even shows up to the appointments. So while you guys have been spending decades, like putting hammer to nail, shingle to roof, I've just been obsessing over boring stuff like this, just cooped up in an office, like looking at data and like building systems and teams and understanding like what makes an appointment hot, what makes somebody interested. You know what I'm saying? So most contractors, like they'll look at me and they'll be like, dude, what does this kid even know about my business? But like, I know about the marketing end because that's what I've been obsessing over. You guys might be obsessing over the processes of like getting the roof done and the crews and stuff like that, and maybe even the sales process. This is my arena. This is my playing field. And here's the real problem that most roofers have. Like when I hear a roofer and they'll say, yeah, I'm booked out for the next 6 months. Like not just with jobs, but like with sales and appointments. Like I'll hear people say that, or even for the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks. This is one of your biggest problems. You're not losing out deals because you just have bad sales skills. You're losing deals because you're trying to close appointments from prospects who pretty much mentally checked out and forgot who you even were 12 hours ago, 24 hours ago, a week ago, because you're booking them far out and you don't have a process in place to keep their interest high or get it higher before you go out to them. You can't just expect your closer to just be a superstar, superhuman and just close prospects or even get them to show up when they checked out. They probably forgot you even booked the appointment because your processes aren't in place. So that's why your show rate sucks. And when they do show, that's why your close rate sucks, right? So once again, it's not your lead problem. It's a problem of you nurturing them and knowing how to handle them, knowing how to, almost knowing how to like incubate interest, right? Like you put it in like an incubator, like having that system, So like there's a Harvard Business Review and it proved that 78% of customers, they choose the first credible contractor who responds within 1 hour of them filling out a form or them showing interest. But most contractors, this cracks me up. Like they're proud of calling the leads back like the same day or like the next business day, or they have like an automated system and they say like all phone calls will be responded like by 10 a.m. like the next business day, and they think it's all professional and they'll like send like an email, like the next day. It's bullshit. Get on the lead. It's interested. Execute. Like that's one of the biggest things. And it's freaking Harvard, right? Like they must be right about something, all those like smart dudes over there. So you're literally trying to schedule appointments with dead prospects while faster competitors book deals that you should be booking. Because like when they were like, let's just say they respond to your ad or they click on your website, they're clicking on other ones. They're not like, don't have that ego thinking that you're the only one that they're reaching out to, because they're not. Like they're looking for options, and the first one that's going to reach out to them, they're just going to book an appointment, and they might not even book with you because they might already be like, oh yeah, my problem solved. I'm just going to talk to this roofer and get it done, right? So that it's literally like it's a feeding frenzy. It's like there's a dead fish thrown into a shark-infested water. You need to be the first shark that gets there. If you're not, your chances of closing that deal are dramatically decreased. Dramatically decreased. So let's build systems and processes around how we can be that first shark. So let's get into it. So here's the 300K math. So I told you in the beginning, like you're losing 300K, I'm talking my shit. I'm gonna show you how you're losing 300K. So if you're running 50 appointments a month and 30% of them show instead of 70% of them showing, you're losing out on 20 deals potentially per month. At $15,000 average per deal, that's $300,000 lost. And that's per year, but per month. Like if you're running 50, it says per year, but it should be per month. And over your career, like that will be millions of dollars, right? And plus the opportunity cost, right? Because we're talking small numbers, only on 50 appointments a month. Like we have people like in our client base that are doing over 1,000. So the math is even more dramatic when you add scale to it, right? So it's not just you losing out on the potential deals of the appointments you're already running, but also the appointments you could be running. Because if you had a good process, you'd be able to spend more money profitably and book more appointments as a result of that, right? So in the next like 10 minutes or so, we'll see. I'll show you like the hidden 6 to 12 hour window that determines whether your appointment converts or becomes a dead lead. Plus, we're gonna give you like the exact system that we use to keep appointments alive until the closer like gets to the door, right? Like that's how I'm gonna show you how we do it for every single one of our appointments. But first, I'm gonna prove to you why everything you think about your appointment quality is completely and utterly wrong. So here's the lead quality myth. So every contractor that I talk to, they say the exact same thing. They're like, the leads are trash, nobody shows up, nobody's serious anymore. I just need to get in front of like serious buyers. Like I just need to talk to real bona fide, serious buyers. Like you're asking for something that's unrealistic. So that's not a lead quality, that's an expectation issue. Right? That's not a lead quality issue, it's expectation issue. Because you're expecting people to be silver platter. You're expecting people to just be like, yeah, hey, what's up, Danny? Like, I'm ready to sign up. That's never gonna happen. It might happen, but never consistently. Never. So like, let's focus on how can we convert reasonably quality appointments, like reasonably quality as in like, they need a new roof and they're qualified to get it. That's it. Their interest level, that's up to you and your processes, right? So marketing, the entire goal of marketing is getting an opportunity of somebody who, once again, can get a new, like they are qualified to get a new roof and they need a new roof. Like they just have like an objective need for one. Their interest and them coming over that paywall, that has everything to do with your nurturing processes and your sales ability and your sales processes, right? So your leads aren't the problem. It's a big part of it is when you're trying to convert them. So the timing. I've spent 2 years, and honestly, it's more than 2 years, in contracting appointments, like in many different industries. So like roofing, solar, like you name it, HVAC, like pretty much everything in the contracting space that is like sales based, which is pretty much everything, right? So the appointment death pattern, it's identical across every contracting business I've probably ever talked to. So let's get into what that looks like. So here's the lead death timeline. We got a little diagram for you. So here's what actually happens to your leads. So in hours 0 to 6 after they submit, this is the peak buying window. This is when they're most sensitive to all your outreach attempts. So like your call attempts, emails, texts, or just your nurturing attempts, right? So somewhere in here is what I call the golden window, the perfect moment when they're ready to buy and they're thinking about their problem and they kind of feel that peak pain, right? Because you guys have to understand the function of marketing. So they have a pain that they need to solve. They saw some sort of like marketing piece, whether it be a wrap on your truck or an ad or just something. They got like a mailer. They're feeling peak pain and they decide to respond to that marketing material. So they're taking an action based on pain. So if we just let that pain reside, we like almost let them heal from their wounds after they like, I need a new roof, or I need a new HVAC system. We let them heal from it. Once we do our outreach attempts, they're gonna be less potent, if that makes sense, because they're not feeling pain in that moment. But flip side, if we call them within that sweet spot, within that perfect window where they're ripe, their pain is fresh in front in their mind, they're gonna be very responsive to your outreach attempts because they feel that pain and it's forefront in their mind, right? Hours 6 to 12, their interest starts to cool down, their life gets in the way, they got a soccer game, they got a doctor's appointment, their kid's graduation is soon, they have their auntie's birthday party. They're not really thinking about needing a new roof or their HVAC system or not wanting their bathroom remodeled. They're just not really thinking about it as much as they were in the hours prior, okay? 12 hours and beyond, you're not gonna get a real appointment. You're probably not even gonna get them to answer. And if they do, like your chances of booking them into an appointment is significantly decreased. And the thing about this, guys, is you're still spending the same amount on marketing, whether you call them within the sweet spot or call them like 12 hours after the fact. You're still spending the same amount of money. It's just about capitalizing on it, right? So this is a little diagram that I know we made of like of pretty much what I just explained. So you guys can like pause and like take a look if you guys want. But moving on. So here's the brutal reality of things. So most contractors are calling leads who are already past their buying window. So they're calling them the next morning or the day after or even like a couple hours after, and obviously not ideal as we go over. So your closer isn't failing at sales. They're just showing up to houses where people either forgot they had an appointment or they already hired their first contractor who called them back first. So like you set up an appointment or they self-booked, like however your system's set up. You either call to confirm you have your outreach nurturing attempts that are either non-existent or extraordinarily delayed. These people probably already solved their problem. Like they need to get something solved because they have pain about it, and the people who react to it first are the ones that have the highest chances of getting it solved, right? So while you're running appointments with people who lost their interest days ago or even hours ago in some cases, like people forget about things, the contractors should understand that the timing and the speed of the deals that they get is literally everything. It's speed kills. I'm sure you've heard that from many different places, right? And the solution isn't like, I need a better lead source or I need my closers to be better I need my closers to be better at sales. Like, that's not the highest lever. That's like telling a chef at a restaurant, you're like, hey, you need to get better at cooking, but their ingredients are fucking moldy and they're like left out overnight and they're shitty quality and you got them out of a dumpster. It's like, oh, you just need to get better at cooking. So yeah, them getting better at cooking, it'll help, like marginally, probably. But if we just change the ingredients that the chef is working with, then we're instantly way better. That's like 100x multiplier. Like having like a moldy, I don't know, moldy something, rotten something versus something that's fresh. A worse chef can cook a better meal with fresh ingredients than a Michelin star trained chef with fucking moldy ones from a dumpster. That's just the truth. So stop telling your salespeople they need to get better when you're putting them into situations that are damn near impossible to close. That's when you're playing the numbers game. You're not playing the strategy, I'm better than you game, which you should be playing, because you want to get multiples on your skill and your strategy. That's what business is. Like, that's why I see a lot of contractors that are out here and they're like, I've been in the business for 37 years and they haven't been able to scale past 5 deals a month. It's just them and their son. Like, that's the sales team. Me and my son, 37 years. Almost 4 decades, and you're still stuck at you and your son as a sales team. You're doing 5 deals a month, dude. What are you talking about 37 years? Like, you've been working with these moldy ingredients the whole time and you never once stopped to think, oh shit, maybe I should get some better ingredients. Maybe there's a problem with my process. Maybe my leads aren't bad. Maybe I just need to be better at converting them. Maybe I just need to be better at nurturing them. Right? Like, it drives me crazy. I talk to so many contractors every single day, and I love helping you guys out. I really do. But it's like almost like frustrating. I almost want to shake you guys because I know how much better you guys will be. I know how much better off you and your family will be if you just grasp these concepts and you execute on them, right? And not just running in your freaking hamster wheel for 37 fucking years. Like, let's get a grasp of it. So here's more about the Harvard research. So here's what changed everything for me, like when I grasped this concepts or like came across like this data. So when I found the research that proves that 78% of customers go with the first credible contractor within the hour, not the cheapest one, not the one with the best reviews, the first credible one who responds fast, but contractors think speed looks unprofessional, almost like, oh, we're needy, if that makes sense. You need to clear that out of your mind. So like I said, like we return calls by 10 a.m. or next business day bullshit, you need to clear that out of your mind right now. Switch that mental frame. Because if you have the idea that like you being fast equals you being needy, that's wrong. You being fast equals you being on top of it, right? So like when we call leads, it happens all of the time because we're lightning fast. Like as a company, for us, we're averaging 30-second speed to lead. That's not even a negotiable. Like if a caller is not achieving that, they have no spot on our team. 0 chance. So like we'll call leads and they'll be like, oh, I'm literally just filled out the form. And we're like, yep, we're quick. We're on top of it. We beat you to the punch. We don't want you going with anybody else. You know, like we throw a little joke and they'll laugh and then we get them booked, right? Like don't think that it looks unprofessional. It means you're on top of it. So this is why we jump on leads immediately for our contracting clients, while other companies are waiting for tomorrow, or they don't want to be pushy. They don't want to look desperate. They're scared of like other people's perception. Who cares? Look at the data, act on what the data says. Like this Harvard data is saying, if you're first, you're going to have a much higher chance than anybody else of getting the lead. So let's be first. Let's not be professional by calling them at 10 a.m. the next day. Stupid. So here's the psychology behind it. So when somebody fills out a form for a contractor, they're motivated right there and then. But that motivation doesn't last forever. It's like a ticking time bomb. It's like kind of like, if I'm gonna put an analogy, like pain. Like if you get punched in the stomach, right? Or if you get the flu, this is a better analogy. Let's just say you get the flu and I were to sell you flu medication, Advil or something, right? I'm gonna be able to like sell you at a higher rate and probably charge a higher price if I came to you right when you told me, like, let's say I was your doctor and I was like, hey, I have the flu. And the doctor responded right away, said, hey, I have medication for you. You'd have a much higher chance of paying for the medication and using it than if I waited till the next morning or the day after when you're feeling a little bit better and I'm like, hey, I have this medication for you. And you're like, let me think about it. You know, let me shop around. Let me see if I can get medication at a better price, because your need is not as high. Your pain is not as high, right? You're not feeling it as much as you did. So by every hour that goes by, the problem gets pushed further down their priority list. Like I was saying, the auntie's birthday party, soccer game, freaking worried about what they're gonna eat for dinner, you know, like stuff like that. People forget. That's just human behavior. So if you think about your own behavior, when's the last time you filled out a form online for something that you needed? How motivated were you 3 days later compared to right after you submitted the form? We see it in our industry. Somebody needs leads. They're really hurting because they're not making the money they want to make in the business. They're just like, ah, shit, I really need, like their rep just finished complaining. They filled out a form. Their pain is high. We get them right there and then, and we can get people through the door because we're calling them with that urgency. But let's just say we waited. Let's just say they had a good day. They just closed 2-3 deals, right? Now they're like, things are going pretty good. We'll wait. But they just had one good day. Does that mean things are going really good? No. Same concept applies to your business, okay? So here's our results versus like industry standard, because once again, we're averaging a 30-second speed to lead, and like that is a hard standard for us. Like it's instantaneous. Like we want to be freakishly quick. Speed kills. So this is why our contractor clients are consistently getting 70% show rates while the industry average is 30%. And we understand this timing because we built our entire system around this speed kills type of mentality because we know how powerful it is, right? So here's the golden window system. So people call back when they actually want to buy, then we keep them interested until your guy shows up, right? So they're calling us and like they're filling out our form, and then we're nurturing them through the whole process. It's almost like we're holding on to that pain, we're putting a pin into it until your salesperson shows up. So they're still kind of at or around peak pain when your salesperson shows up to the appointment, and that's how close rates we're able to achieve like pretty high for a lot of our clients, right? So we contact these prospects within the first hour. It's a lot quicker than that, And we have our team qualify them and get them booked in immediately, right? And something I always like to say, like with our team, our inbound, like our setters, is, hey, your job isn't to kind of twist the knife on the pain, it's to kind of find it, right? So let's just say we're in a HVAC scenario where it's summertime. Let's just say it's summertime and their AC is broken, right? And we're like, so we're asking them on the call. We're like, yeah, so like, is it like completely non-functional? Like how's it with the AC? They're like, oh, it's been completely broken. Like that. Let's just say they say that to us. Oh man, completely broken? Are you guys like sweating in there or what? Yeah, dude, it's super hot. Boom, we found the pain. We found it right where it is. So now that we found the pain, we put a pin in it, like I said, and once your salesperson shows up to the house, they know what to do. They know where to twist the knife. They know to be like, well, have you guys like kind of been super hot and sweaty? I mean, we're getting into summer. Have you guys been kind of dealing with it pretty well? They're like, oh no, it's terrible. They're twisting the pain, right? It's almost like if you go to the doctor and they're like, does this hurt? No. Does this hurt? No. Does this hurt? Yeah, that hurts. We're done on the setting process. So now I tell my salespeople, hey, right here. And they're just like, does this hurt? Does this hurt? And they're like, fuck, that hurts. That hurts bad. And now you're gonna have a higher close percentage because you're nurturing correctly, right? And you find the pain and you know how to exploit it, right? So we're not just calling back faster, we're calling while the people are still motivated. Calling fast without knowing what you're doing is just chaos, so obviously have like a dialed in system. But like that's the difference between getting real appointments and like just chasing like dead leads or leads that are kind of like on their way out. Like they're just either found another problem or they're just not gonna be as interested. So capturing them within this golden window is it is like the highest leverage thing that you can be doing to maximizing your marketing dollars and therefore being able to spend more money than any of your other competitors. Because if you are more profitable on the marketing end or on the sales end by getting new jobs, you're gonna be able to spend more because as you guys know, or maybe if you don't, as you scale up within a market, your marketing efforts, your costs seem to rise. So the more efficient that you can be with your processes, the more you can spend than anybody else. So the more piece of the pie that you take, and now you're the industry leader, right? That's where we want to be. So step one, capture them within an hour while they're motivated, qualify them completely, nurture them, stay in touch, remind them of the problem, find the pain point, find it, and make it apparent to your salespeople. Boom, now you got 70% show rates and your close rates are much higher, right? So step two, keeping the appointments alive. If you think about it, if somebody doesn't hear from you for 3 days after booking, they start second guessing. Do I really need this? Do I really have time for this? Maybe I should just get more quotes. Maybe I should wait. There's like little sprouts of doubt. That's why we constantly just email, text, call them. Hey, we're still good? Okay, perfect. Email, text, FAQs, social proof, right? Just constantly, just boom, boom, boom. Like just keep punching them. Keep punching them with your follow-up methods, right? With everything that I just said, and you're gonna keep that high. You're gonna reduce the amount of doubt that starts to seep into their mind before you show up to the appointment, especially if you book them far out. That's why booking them for as soon as possible is super ideal. So our team handles all of that for like all of our contracting clients. Like we have that entire process already set up. It's just automated that we just flip on for everybody, any one of our clients. because we know how crucial it is. So that's the difference between somebody who answers the door like, oh yeah, I got like 10 minutes, I gotta like head to work, and somebody's like, oh yeah, appreciate it, and they have like a glass of water ready for you, you know, and they're ready to go, you know. So why is timing everything? The difference isn't some secret lead source or some magic sales pitch, it's your timing. It's your timing, right? We know that people actually buy, when people actually buy, and when we build everything around like the timing, the when, right? So when you set thousands of appointments, you start to see a lot of patterns. Like for us, like we deal with so much volume of like so many appointments coming out from our systems. We have the advantage of seeing very clear data. We see very clear data. So we can see like, hey, if we had like this pod of callers had like a 7-minute speed to lead, which is still pretty fast compared to a lot of people, versus 30 seconds, we're like, wow, our results are literally 2.5x more efficient with 30 seconds than it is for 7. Imagine the difference between 30 seconds in an hour or 30 seconds in 9 hours, right? So we're able to see data like this because of how much volume comes through our system, and we're able to see these patterns, like the ones that show up and close, like they have the same like type of things in common. They kind of fall under like the same archetype of prospect. The ones that waste your time, they also have the same predictable path. They still have those same patterns as well. So we just do more of what works, and obviously we cut everything else out that doesn't, because if it doesn't work, why the hell are we doing it? We have data to see that. So doesn't matter if somebody needs an emergency HVAC repair, or they're thinking about solar panels, or they need a new roof. People hire contractors the same exact way, like no matter what service it is. If something breaks or something bothers them enough to do something about it, they're gonna look around. Like they're gonna start clicking on ads. They're gonna start looking up people on Google, right? Then they take action. They fill out a form, make a call, like they do whatever. Right when they take that action, they're in buying mode. So we need to capitalize. That's when they enter that sweet spot window that I was talking about. If you miss that window, then you just become every other contractor that is stuck in the industry for 37 years and is stuck at 4 deals a month for the rest of their freaking life. That's just who you're gonna become. That's how important this is, okay? And guys, here's the reality of every single market. The appointment game isn't getting easier for contractors, it's getting harder and more competitive and more saturated. And homeowners are getting more skeptical than ever. They're becoming smarter buyers. They're getting more quotes. Like they've been taught to shop around because that's actually the best decision that they can make from them as a consumer, right? But us as business owners, like we need to understand and stay ahead of this curve. The way to do that is by building systems around it, right? And understanding the psychology behind why consumers and buyers act in the way that they do, right? But here's what hasn't changed. They still need their problem solved, and they still prefer working with contractors who respond to their problems, right? Contractors who understand timing will dominate their local markets. Those who don't need to keep losing deals to faster competitors, because that's all it is. Like I'm sure you guys see it all the time. Like if your speed is the same as other competitors and they're talking to other contractors, it becomes a race to the bottom. We need to differentiate ourselves with our systems. That's how we do that. That's how we're going to be able to sell at a higher rate and also justify a higher price than our competitors. And it's not going to be just like, oh, geez, my margin on this job is 4%. I'll just do it for cash flow. That's a cope. That's a cope. We don't need to be like that. We don't need to operate this way. I don't care what's saturated. I don't care what market you're in, how saturated you think it is. We have clients in the most saturated markets in the United States, and because we know what we're doing, because we have the data and the systems built around the processes to deliver appointments that have that intent, that we get within that window of pain, they're able to perform. We just flip it on and they perform because we know what we're doing, right? So here's our solution. So we actually built our whole business around this like whole golden window strategy, and our contractor clients are getting 80 to 120 appointments a month with 70% show rates because we handle everything that I pretty much just explained. And honestly, we have clients that are doing a lot more volume than that. So like I said, we have guys that are doing around 1,000 appointments plus per month in any given market because we know how to capitalize and we have the data, so we know what decisions to make, right? So if you're curious on what we can do for your business, there's a link in the description. It's probably gonna be like to book a call with us where we're just gonna talk to you like about where you're at to see if we can even work with you. We don't work with everybody because to be honest, like we want partners that we can scale with, and if we don't think that you're somebody that we can scale with, we're not gonna do it in the first place. We're not trying to be here for a money grab, like we're trying to be here for relationships and build long-term profitable relationships with with contractors in the space. So if your show rates suck, if your close rate sucks, if your appointments are running low and unpredictable, it might be worth having a click and having a conversation, and we'll just see what we can do to help you out. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Go watch the rest of our videos. Hopefully you can find some golden nuggets in there to increase your business. Talk to you soon. Peace.